Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. If you love what you see here, reach out to me directly, Tim Mosso at thewatchbox.com. It's in the description below. Your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see on any Watchbox platform. Email tmosso at thewatchbox.com for pricing. Today, we are discussing a model built in 2013, originally launched for the 2010 model year. This is the Panerai Radiomir 8 Days Titanium PAM00346. So the watch in titanium is 45 millimeters in diameter, 15.6 millimeters thick, and 53 millimeters from lug to lug with a 24 millimeter strap size. We'll zoom out a little bit, put this watch on my wrist. My wrist is 16 centimeters in circumference, and you can see it wears well. The thing about the Radiomir on the traditional wire lug is that it's more of a square watch than a rectangular watch. This watch sits like a cushion. It feels 45 by 45, even though the absolute lug spacing is quite a bit broader than that. In titanium with sapphire front and back, it's a very light watch, and of course entirely hypoallergenic. You can see that it is thick. It'll fit underneath a jacket cuff, though not the tightest of dress sleeves, and I can recommend it, as you see here, for a wrist of about 15 centimeters circumference or larger. Now, taking a quick look at the hardware and software, you'll note this watch is quite a bit more upscale than a standard Panerai watches. Instead of a calfskin or rubber, here we have a large rectangular scale alligator leather, semi-gloss. We have a contrasting stitch. It's a black strap. There's a lot of bolstering to add volume here. There's a wonderfully broad folded side. It looks sheer cut, but it's actually folded on the underside. You'll note calfskin, a brand new Panerai factory strap, no gouging, no crimping, and a simple satin finished titanium pin buckle to match the large trapezoidal buckle that is thoroughly associated with modern Panerai models. Now, zooming out, you can see that the watch is remarkably detailed. The nice thing about these wire lug Radiomir timepieces is the size and scope of the contrast. You can see that the lugs are polished, the case is satinated, the bezel is polished, and then we have a crown that's a combination of polish and then media blasting outboard. It is a screw-down crown, as you can see here, water resistance 100 meters. This is a swimmable watch. Now we will take a quick look at the dial side. You can see a sandwich dial construction, so we have this lovely tobacco brown stencil on top of a solid disc of loom, and that disc of loom with the stencil on top is what Panerai fans call a sandwich dial. It has sandwiched construction, red gold-plated hands at center for a lovely upscale look, and then we have a small second sub-register. Note that the watch features not just hacking seconds, but zero reset. So it actually resets to the index up at 12, so you can set this easily against a reference time. Now, you'll see the watch continues to tick, and I can actually drive the date forward and backwards and step the hour hand in 1 hour increments if I happen to be traveling. This is a handy refinement for those who frequently travel. The movement on the back, part of the very first family of Panerai in-house calibers, and the originals, the 2000 series, were over-engineered, and that's exactly what we have here. Now we'll get a little bit closer, take a look at this in detail. You can see that the caliber 2002/9 has the look of a three-quarter bridge. The bridges are separate, but it has the satin finish and the monolithic appearance of one big bridge that you would have seen on the Rolex Codebert and Angelus pocket watch calibers that powered the 1930s, 40s, and 50s Panerai combat watches for the Italian Navy. But this is much more upscale. 3 mainspring barrels. It has an 8-day power reserve, and as you can see, it has a hidden power reserve indicator with a rose gold scale on the back. Now, what's fun about this watch, and it's a little bit frivolous, but again, fun is why we buy luxury watches. It actually has a luminescent power reserve indicator hand on the reverse side. And then you can see there's plenty of lume on the dial side. Now, the movement is nicely made, and as you can see, quite deluxe. In addition to the power reserve indicator, the long reserve, the 3 barrels that keep the amplitude of the balance fairly even from max wind to min wind. That's why you go with 3 barrels rather than one huge one. Consistency of amplitude over the full power reserve. The watch, which pivots on 23 jewels, has a full balance bridge with a free-sprung index for maximum shock tolerance, and the balance beats away at 28,800 vibrations per hour. There is an awful lot to love here, from the tough architecture to the clever features to the way the power reserve indicator is hidden, and of course the fact that this is a watch you can afford to wind once a week in your collection. With an 8-day power reserve, it gives you luxury, the chance to interact with your watch only when you desire, to make it a pleasure, not a constant chore. Reach out to Tim Mosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details.